The destiny of mankind has been shaped by individuals who pushed civilization beyond the boundaries of the past. These men and women have left indelible marks on humanity. They are the Immortals. Throughout history, there have always been a few people who acted as guardians for mankind. One of the first of these was the Greek philosopher Socrates. By insisting on the right, the good, the true, Socrates provoked the people in power, the politicians. He told them what they didn't want to hear. He pointed out their corruption for all citizens to behold. Eventually, the politicians became so angry, they put him on trial for his life. As was customary in those times, they left him a choice. He could either face imprisonment, fines, exile, or execution. They assumed he would flee Athens and they would be rid of him. But Socrates, the devoted teacher, had yet one more lesson to offer them. In his time, 2,400 years ago, people vigorously debated the meaning of right and wrong. Some believed that moral principles were opinions. People could change them to suit themselves. Ideas of good and evil might be useful, but they didn't exist outside of people. Some believed that moral principles had an actual existence, and Socrates was one of these. He believed that moral principles exist on their own, on a higher plane, independently of people. Our present-day laws are a reflection of these higher truths. Some laws are archaic, inaccurate reflections, and until the society changes them, the individual must suffer with and obey them. As you will see, Socrates did more than just believe this. The year is 399 BC, Athens, Greece. Socrates awaits the jury's verdict.
A man spends his entire life striving to do what is good. And what is his reward? A cold cell.
must speak in my own defense in front of my peers who stand in judgment for crimes I did not commit. Me? Not believe in the gods? Corrupting the youth? It's ridiculous they accuse me of such things.
What if I am found to be guilty?
What if I am condemned to die? I have always been the same in all of my actions. I have never yielded to the wishes of others if I thought them to be wrong. Anyone can listen to me, young or old, rich or poor. My poverty will attest to the fact that I have never received money in my quest. If someone listens to my words, then goes out and commits a wrongful act, can I be blamed for that? And why am I accused of corrupting the youth? They say that I teach the youth not to acknowledge the gods of the government. How absurd! I believe that there are gods. I believe that there are gods in a far higher sense than the government believes.
There is a spirit that moves within me, a voice which whispers in my ear, and it has never misled me. It only speaks to me if I am about to do something wrong.
If my accusers were to say to me, Socrates, this time we will spare your life, but you must never seek truth again, or you shall be put to death, then I would reply, people of Athens, I love and honor you. But as long as I have the passion and the strength, I will always follow the path of righteousness rather than you. And I will never stop questioning. That is all I do. I go about trying to persuade people not to think about their possessions, but to care about virtue. When will they learn that the one true coin for which things should be exchanged is wisdom? If they know what is good, they will do what is right. If they lack wisdom, they will do wrong.
If people commit wrongful acts, it is only because they think it will do them good. What they do not realize is that ultimately it will cause them unhappiness. One must understand the real nature of human beings in order to know what is good. We have to search our souls to know how to live. Without this, we will never find happiness. If they decide I am guilty, it is Athens who will suffer, while I will live on in the minds of men. I speak like a bitter man, when all around me a great force sustains the good in life. I do not want Athens to be punished. I want her to learn the good, but to open her eyes, I may have to teach her a lesson that will be hard for both of us. If I had been able to tell people what they wanted to hear instead of the truth, I could have ruled this city that I love. But in that case, I would have been no wiser than our judges. They say I am different from other men. If that is so, it is in two ways. I cannot lie, and I know how little knowledge all men and I actually possess. They say I criticize what is holy. If that is so, then they must worship their own self-delusion. For that is all I criticize. But I do disturb them. If I question them, they think I am judging them harshly. But I do not. They are judging themselves and blaming me. I love them, and I just want them to think. That would involve change, and men hate to change. They would rather believe that things must be as they are. To them, that is faith. Why do they think so little of themselves and of the gods?
Give me a drink. Give me a drink. This night air. Ever since the last discus match, it makes my shoulder ache.
Well, the weather's good for grapes, at least. Wine will warm you up.
Shall we drink to the old man's escape?
Socrates is not a man to run. I saw him fight at the Battle of Delium. He faced the enemy's lances. As calm as a Phidias statue.
He'll be as dead as a statue if he doesn't get out. The court is generous to let him escape.
Escaping would violate his principles. To Socrates, that would be worse than death. He would rather fight.
We're better off without him. Believe me.
Maybe you're right.
If convicted, I am allowed to choose my form of punishment.
Let me consider the alternatives. Imprisonment? No. Why should I spend the rest of my days in a cell? Out of the question. What of a fine? That too would mean imprisonment. Since I have no money, I would have to remain in prison until the fine is paid. Even if my friends lend me the money, I would be admitting guilt. And I have done nothing wrong.
Exile. Leave Athens. I love her too much in spite of her faults.
Plato.
How do they treat me?
Oh, I am well. Contemplation thrives on silence and simple food.
This is no place for someone like you.
You wish me to flee?
Yes. We can bribe the guards, escape to the safety of another city, and...
I thought you cared for me.
Of course I care for you.
If you care for me, you wish no ill to befall me, right?
Exactly.
Consider then, which is higher, the body or the soul?
The soul, that's the first lesson you ever taught me.
And the most important. So, an ill to the soul is worse than an ill to the body.
Yes. Of course.
I am glad you see that. Yet you would wish me to harm my soul in order to avoid harm to my body.
The poison won't just harm your body, it will be the end of your body.
And there's nothing more to fear. If the body is ended, it can no longer be harmed.
I would rather that it not be ended.
So would I, dear friend. So would I.
Then escape with us. All your students will come.
And of what value would I be to them?
To teach us as you've done all your life.
And is not what I teach the value of good?
Yes, that is why we need you.
But to do that, I must be good.
You are good. You're the finest person I have ever known.
Then why do you wish to destroy this goodness?
I wish to save your goodness.
No, you want to save this body. And to do it, you would have me break the laws of Athens. Now I have taught you to respect the law. We damage our souls when we break the law. We must not damage our souls to save our bodies. The higher must not be sacrificed for the lower.
But you are condemned by an evil law.
I agree, I agree. So we must change it. Why is there evil?
Because people do not know the good.
And if the people were to know that this was an evil law, would they change it?
Yes. Athens would change it.
Now, are they more likely to see that evil if a good man is put to death or if he rides off with his friends?
You are right, Socrates. But being right, you'll die.
Death is just another sunrise.
This is the most painful lesson you have ever taught me.
I helped build this city as a sculptor of its marble and of its democracy. If I were to run away, I would have to live with the reputation of betraying those principles I hold so dear. My principles are my life. I cannot sacrifice them for a little more time. A good man should never calculate the chance of living or dying. Wherever he may be in that hour of danger, whether he has chosen to be there or has been placed there by the law, he should only strive to do what is right. If I am to be remembered for anything, it should be for this.
When it came time for sentencing, Socrates remained true to his beliefs. The death penalty stood. In 399 BC, he drank the poison, hemlock, and he died. Socrates' acceptance of death was the act of a devoted teacher. It showed that truth and goodness have a reality that goes beyond our individual lives. Most of Athens ignored this lesson, as they had the others he taught them. And after his death, the decline of Athens grew worse. The Golden Age had ended. But the fact that his lessons were ignored didn't make them futile. A teacher's job is to speak the truth, no matter if it isn't heard, and no matter what the consequences. Socrates left no writings, but Plato, his most gifted student, preserved his lessons so that we could learn from them. Socrates teaches us like he taught the ancient Athenians, and we learn about as much as they did. But our human shortcomings aren't the point. The point is that the right, the good, the true are real. By having the courage to die for that belief, Socrates became immortal.